Welcome to Synthaholics. This is your host, David Duncan, and with me is...
Brian? Where's Brian? It's me!
It's
that
you!
That was kind of cringy. Just came to the top of my head. Welcome, David! How are you? Well, welcome to yourself. We know we were doing this, and we're welcoming each other. Welcome! Welcome one and all.
Welcome one and
to
all.
what we are, who we are, things and stuff.
Twitch audience, Facebook audience, YouTube audience.
Any audience that's listening, hello.
Anyone happens to be there. Welcome to the show. This week, we'll be tackling Avatar 1.
Because we haven't seen 2 yet, because it's not out.
As
of recording, this isn't out yet.
As of recording, it's not out yet. That is true. So we wanted to talk about Avatar 1 in anticipation of Avatar 2, The Way of the Water. And for you old-time Synthaholics listeners who've been listening for the ye old ages, we talked about Avatar 1 way back when, although I can't say we. I wasn't actually on that episode. Holly and Aaron spoke on Avatar 1. And I wasn't there to rub it in their face that it was just Pocahontas meets Fern Gully in space, but...
You can rub it in my face if you want.
Well, I mean,
this is your moment.
Well, Holly refused to acknowledge the fact that it is that. I don't think you'd be so naive to say it's not.
Oh, the argument was that it wasn't?
Oh, Holly argued that it wasn't Fern Gully and Pocahontas in space. So I'm like,
all right, no, I'm not going to be able to disagree with you. There are definitely they did take a little bit of stuff from those films. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Avatar, because I like Avatar and you like Avatar. I don't know. I'm just going to go on a limb. I like Avatar more than you.
You do. We'll you do. You are more hopelessly optimistic for Avatar 2, whereas I am like...
No, just Avatar. I like Avatar.
I'm just confused and baffled by why it's taken so long for them to put out the second one.
I would love to ask him why. Like, do you think in any interviews he's actually said it's taken this long because of this, or it's taken this long because of that, or do you think he's kind of dancing around the question? Or he'll say it just takes a long time.
Probably that. He should slide into our DMs that he's obviously monitoring, that we brought up, I think last week or the week before,
yes.
the last week before, where he dropped a new Avatar 2 trailer within an hour of me complaining to Brian that the trailers didn't show anything good. So
yeah.
So that was.
But before we get into the meat and potatoes, there are a couple things here. One is I just want to talk about Dwarf Fortress for a moment. This game came out 20-something years ago. I didn't know what it was, and I found out it was one of the most wish-listed games on Steam a year or two ago. It's I like dwarfs, as you know, David. I'm
Brian's a big fan of dwarfs.
I'm pro dwarf.
Pro dwarf.
So I just left it in my my wish lists on Steam for forever, how long it's been on there, until it came out. And it turns out it's a good game, and I'm not really sure what the game is yet, but Dwarf Fortress, it had a Steam banner this week. So cool, there's Dwarf Fortress. Anything to add, David?
Not about Dwarf Fortress. I've heard good things about it, but I've not played it or really looked into it, other than I've heard around the grapevine that it's a good game.
There is a Dwarf Fortress out there.
By many accounts.
Well, moving on. I just wanted to bring that up for something that potentially might be a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
There is some DC news. We got some good old DC news now. I've given up on Marvel. You've kind of given up on Marvel. It's fine. It's not so much given up. It's kind of the story has ended. We've talked about that. But DC, I have not given up on. I still want to watch DC stuff, even though, I want a story, and it seems like we haven't been getting that for a while here.
DC
now that James Gunn,
DC doesn't know how to tell a story.
That's also true, but they seem to have comic books, and there's story in comic books in their comic books.
And Marvel has forgotten how to tell a story. That's the problem with Marvel right now. They do not know how to tell a story anymore.
Well, I'm sure their movies are fine. They're okay. There's a story in the movie. Not anymore, though. There's no connected story. Anyway, the first thing I wanted to talk about is Wonder Woman 3. So a little bit of backstory before, because I'm sure there's people that are listening to this that already know that it's been canceled. But a little bit, I'm going to add a little bit more color. I want to add a little bit more color to that.
Blue?
Patty Jenkins, who was yeah, we're going to add blue to this because it's sad. But Patty Jenkins, who directed the first and second one, she wrote the second one. The first one was, she had help with writing. She was involved.
No
but
wonder
it was
so
Snyder.
much better than the. Than
Yeah,
the
she had
second one.
help. The Snyder folks helped her out. I think it's Zack Snyder and somebody else with the last name of Snyder. I don't know who, if it's his wife or whatever. I don't know the deal. But they pretty much wrote Wonder Woman, the first one. And the second one, Patty Jenkins wrote it on her own. And, it didn't go too good for
Boy,
her.
does it show.
There's a big difference. So if you're wondering why Wonder Woman, the second one, is bad, that's why. Because she wrote it. I'm sorry, Patty Jenkins. Like, you ruined it. I'm sorry. I don't know. You seem like a fine person in the interviews I've seen, but, like, you ruined it. Anyway, she wrote treatment for Wonder Woman 3. I don't know what they mean by treatment. Is that like they wrote, like, a screenplay or something?
A treatment's like something
Like they have, like, an
something
outline?
bigger than an outline, but something not as big as a screenplay. It's like a hybrid. It's like something in between. It's like a detailed plot breakdown, but without like dialogue, probably. Like,
Okay. So it's something. It's not like she just thought of she didn't work on it for like 5 minutes and then send it to somebody.
it's a thick outline with a couple C's, but it's not a full screenplay.
Okay, got it. Well, she created one of these for Wonder Woman 3 and then showed it to James Gunn and his cohort, Stefan something, that might be his last name. I'm not sure, but they're running DC
Steppenwolf
together. Yeah, it might be Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf and James Gunn.
It's an unstoppable duo.
they're the head honchos now. And Patty Jenkins went to them and said, "Hey, here's my treatment." And James Gunn came back with, like, "This doesn't fit our vision of what we think Wonder Woman 3 is." And then, like, 3 hours later, he canceled the movie. It's something like that, which is nuts. So
I've heard
I dug
conflicting
into it a little bit.
reports. Oh, go ahead.
No. After they dug into, I dug into what James Gunn was doing, and he's gonna cancel everything, I think. So, hard reboot on that.
I heard it from another place that Patty Jenkins walked out and quit, and
She might have.
I don't know. Like, it's conflicting whether or not, like, she's the one who decided to bow out after James Gunn, or I don't know. It's who knows.
Who knows?
It's
We'll
Steppenwolf
probably
said,
never have the
she
whole story.
said. Who knows?
Yeah. At the end of the day, we got Wonder Woman 2. We knew who it was written by, and now we don't want Wonder Woman 3, at least written by her. I would like Wonder Woman 3.
I want
think
more
Gal
Gal
Gadot
Gadot.
is a great Wonder Woman, but unfortunately, she did rape somebody in Wonder Woman 2. So, unfortunately, there is that, and just the story was just not good. It was just, oh god, it was so disappointing, that movie. Anyway, not to get into the weeds of Wonder Woman, but yeah, it looks like they're going to reboot the DCEU. We don't know that for sure. We will find out next week, potentially, or the week after.
I'm so confused what they're doing with DC, because there's still Aquaman 2 that's like basically done and coming out. There's the Flash movie, which is also basically done and waiting to come out. They made
the Flash movie, I don't know how far along the Aquaman movie is, but the Flash movie, it has been done for like 2-3 years.
The Batgirl movie was done and then shelved, and then they burnt up the solenoid, so it's never gonna see the light of day. Like, I don't know what's going on with DC. There's like the Batman, which is in a different universe from the Joker, which is in a different universe from Batman versus Superman. Like, DC is on all the different kinds of crack. And
So the only thing not affected is the Batman movie. Matt Reeves' Batman that came out earlier this year. I think it was March that it came out. That's the only thing not being affected by what James Gunn's doing. Everything else has been either been put on pause or canceled. Except they might bring Jason Momoa away from playing Aquaman and make him play Lobo. Which they're like, we're going to get rid of everything except Jason Momoa. He's not playing Aquaman anymore. He's playing Lobo. So, yeah.
Well, Henry Cavill's back as Superman, so that's still the same.
They also stopped development on Superman. It's not the future of the Superman movie is not clear right now. I'm sure. I hope that they keep Henry Cavill as Superman. But right now, that movie he quit The Witcher to do they stopped working on it right now.
Oh.
At least for right now. I mean, it's very possible that they started, but right now everything's just paused while they figure out what they want to do. DC, let's go! Woo! Woo.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they get their stuff together. I hope they have a cohesive setup. It would be nice to have, the phase 1 of Marvel finally happen in DC. Because phase 1 was great. Phase 2 was really good. Phase 3 was good. Phase 4 has completely dropped the ball. I really, really hope that they trim the hedges and do quality over quantity in phase 5, because oh my god, it was quantity over quality for sure in phase 4. It was just a giant diarrhea dump of whatever that was.
Yeah. Just dump.
It was a dump.
The one thing I do hope for DC is that this can be a controversial statement or a hot take when you're comparing DC and Marvel, but Marvel is a much more grounded comic books where it's they're not crazy overpowered. I hope they don't make the DC characters like that, because DC the characters in DC are averagely significantly stronger than the Marvel characters. So I hope they don't just make Superman as strong as he was, as strong as Iron Man was in the first Iron Man, and he goes through this development. Superman is just that he's the ultimate beast. There's barely any characters that anybody's ever created that can beat him in a fight or death battle.
Batman.
But I hope they keep him. I hope they all keep all the characters keep them true to how strong they are.
Yeah, so I'm just so confused. So are these last two holdouts Aquaman and the Flash, are they going to be the remnants of and then they're just going to start over? Are they going to rework them to tie them into the new stuff? It's just so confusing what DC's doing. They've had no vision. DC, what they've been doing all along is kind of what Phase 4 feels like in Marvel.
A little bit. That's kind of what it's kind of just all over the place.
And
they got James Gunn now. They got James Gunn.
I hope. I really, really hope that it'll be good.
James Gunn hasn't made anything bad yet in terms of superhero movies.
Yeah,
I know
the Suicide Squad was okay.
Yeah, but compared to Phase 4 Marvel, I feel Suicide Squad
Guardians
was pretty
1 and Guardians 2 are both really good.
Yep, he did those.
Oh,
and then there's a holiday special that I haven't watched.
I haven't watched that yet. I watched the Guardians 3 trailer though. It was pretty good. Drax just
was the trailer?
Yeah, Drax. They land on an alien planet. It looks like Earth, but then when you see the people,
really?
They're all weird, different animal, anthropomorphic animal people.
Oh.
And then someone throws a ball at Drax, and Drax throws the ball back at the kid, knocks it over, and starts an incident. Oh, I love Drax. It's great.
Yeah, that's probably the next Marvel movie I'll be seeing is Guardians of the Galaxy. That's the only one I kind of still care about. I don't think I'll be seeing anything else for right now.
James Gunn.
But yeah, James Gunn, let's go, dude. Figure it out. DC, if you need me, call me. I don't know anything about the comics, but I feel like I can speak for the fans.
Yeah.
Speak for the fans. But I think James Gunn knows the fans. So, yeah, that's the news for this week. We are going to be doing a Game Awards.
Actually,
we're going to talk about the Game Awards. That's going to be separate. So if you want to, listen or watch that, no, you're just going to have to watch it. It's going to be on YouTube. Because figured we're going to talk about the Game Awards longer than what we want to make this podcast. For the most part, I think we could take up the whole podcast talking about the Game Awards, and we didn't want to do that. We didn't think it was fair to the people who just want to listen to the main podcast. But it's something that we wanted to talk about, or David and me were going to talk about it anyways.
Yeah.
whether we were being recorded or not. So we figured, hey, we might as well just get our thoughts going. So yeah, if you want to watch that, tune into the YouTube. If you're watching this live, that'll probably be out tomorrow. But if you're listening to this when it normally is, uploaded, it's already out. Go to the YouTube.
Yeah, go to the YouTube. Check out our thoughts on the Game Awards.
Yeah. So, meat and potatoes time, I think. Meat and potatoes. David, Avatar, one of the greatest influential movies of all time ever created.
What?
Yeah, don't say no. You're giving me a question mark already. Here's my argument towards this. Who doesn't know what Avatar is? Hmm? Oh yeah, put your hand down. You know though, you got your background. You already got the background. But I get it. People are like, oh, I don't know the story. I don't know the characters. Super fair. I don't know the characters of Gone with the Wind, but that movie's also influential. Now, everybody knows what Avatar is. I think that's fair to say. Knowing the story, not so much fair. But that being said, still the greatest.
Well, how is Avatar influential in your mind?
Everybody know, well, I mean, like, everybody just knows what it is.
Because it's just like, I mean, yeah, it like ushered in the new wave of 3D, but 3D has already like gone and died since Avatar 1 came out. Like, it was just people tried to, get extra money for movie tickets by also having a 3D version. It was more like
they made
a cash grab.
They made a iPod Touch app. It was called James Gunn's Avatar, and it was like a game. And I tried to play it this week to like prepare. I don't know why. Like, I feel like I got to talk about Avatar in the podcast, so I got to prepare. The app is no longer available, so I couldn't play it. But I think when I say influential, I mean more like that it's just every single person, at least in America, probably Canada as well, knows what Jim Cameron's Avatar is. I think that's fair to say.
Oh, just that it's like
everybody knows what it is.
It's in the zeitgeist where like people have heard of it. They just don't know anything about it specifically.
And then it's followed up with there's two ways there's one way this conversation always goes. Have you seen Avatar? Yes or no. It's either yes I have or no I haven't, but I know what it is. And then question 2 is I don't remember anything about the movie. That's how all the conversations go. But at least people are aware of what it is.
But that's why I'm wondering if it's influential. That's why I raised the question.
Okay, maybe influential was a bad. I'm just figuring out what's alive here. Okay, it's popular. How about that?
It's well known.
Okay, that works too. I'll take that.
People know what it is. Like Star Trek's well known. Even people who haven't seen Star Trek, they know. The thing is, like,
exactly.
I would say Star Trek's more influential because even if you don't know what Star Trek is, you know Captain Kirk, you probably know Captain Picard, you know the Enterprise, and you probably know the Borg. You know details, even though you know nothing. You know some details without really knowing anything about it. Whereas Avatar is like blue cat things.
Yeah,
most people are like you were just saying that people like don't remember anything about it, and that's like not great.
That's not great
from a an influential pop culture thing, and like we said off the air, like we need to go ahead and give this movie numbers in a couple minutes now, but what I was saying off the air is that like. I've watched Avatar twice recently. Once with my wife about a couple months ago, and then again in preparation for the podcast. So the last time I'd seen it, it'd probably been like near a decade. And I just remember it being I remember it being not Gone with the Wind. I remember it being Pocahontas meets Fern Gully in space. Like that's my interpretation of Avatar. That's what I remember most about Avatar. And then rewatching it with my wife, and then again for the show, it's like it is a very competent film. Maybe it's because so many recent movies have been so incompetent that this movie's elevated on competence because it is James Cameron and he's made some really good films over the time. His time making movies. So it was like, wow, this is better than I remember, but also so many things have been so bad lately. Maybe that's elevating this movie even more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, these are all very valid, fair points. I'm not going to argue. Like, So I was thinking about this before we were going to start the podcast, is that I'm pretty sure I like Avatar more than probably 95% of the population.
Yeah,
But
that's probably fair.
that being said, I understand that it's not perfect. I know it's not perfect. I don't know why I like it so much. I'm sure we'll dive into it a little bit, but yeah, those are all very fair points, and I do agree with you that it does have some faults. Now though, David, we do have to rate the movie because that's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're known for on the streets. When people are like, "Hey, you're that guy that rates stuff."
We give it arbitrary numbers, which is something we didn't do until Brian started on the show. So that's
I don't know why.
That's a good thing.
I don't know. That wasn't even planned. I don't think. I think it's just like we're gonna number stuff.
We're gonna throw numbers at
Anyway. We're doing math now. We do math. So David, go ahead, man. I want to know your numbers. What's the number?
Well, I've heard mixed things about Avatar 2, so I feel like I need to give this movie maybe a higher number than maybe I should.
Well,
Just in
no,
anticipation
we're
for
not
Avatar 2.
Avatar 2 yet. We can't be interjecting Avatar 2 yet. This is just Avatar 1, man.
Yeah, I know, but
If we're gonna give Avatar 2 a 4 or whatever, let's not let that impact a movie. We're like rating this movie based on not even seeing the second one yet.
Well, usually sequels are never quite as good as the originals.
That is true.
So, like, I don't want to give Avatar 2 a 4. So
I got that. Please don't make me give Avatar 2 a 4. Please don't make me do that. James Cameron, wherever you are out there, don't make me give it a 4.
So I'm going to give this like a 8.
Okay, I'll take it. I'm happy with that, man.
I mean, like, I'll give it an 8. Like, it's watchable. The special effects still hold up for the most part. It is very much Fern Gully meets Pocahontas. So if you liked either of those movies or both of them, here's a nice smash up. The acting's good. The script is serviceable. My biggest complaint about it is unobtainium. It's a little too on the nose.
Oh man, you're gonna like my review.
It's a little too on the nose. So it's just, it's good. Like, it's not perfect. I can't give it a 9 or a 10. I really wanted to give it lower. But I'm scared. I have to give this a higher. I want to like set my expectations for how Avatar 2 is gonna go. So
you don't want to give Avatar 1 and Avatar 2 the same score because this one's better, and you're worried the second one is gonna be worse.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
That's how I'm rating it. I was thinking like my gut's telling me like this is like Avatar 1's like a 7.5, but I'm feeling like Avatar 2 could be that. So I need to give this a higher score because.
This is going to be better.
This is probably going to be a better film than Avatar 2. Probably. I hope not. I'm hoping Avatar 2 blows me out of the water.
Literally. It's the way of water.
Way of the water. Oh, no, it's going to drown me.
It's going to drown you in water.
All right, Brian, your numbers.
All right, man. So, Avatar. I need to preface something here. It's Avatar.
You're giving it an 11.
This movie came out in 2009. I have no less than watched this movie probably twice a year since 2009.
Oh wow! This is your Fight Club. I used to watch Fight Club like that.
Well, I guess this is my Fight Club. I will say this movie is long. It's too long for me. I don't like that it's long.
It's too long for you. You watch it twice a year.
No, I know. Avatar 2 is even longer.
It's even longer.
But let's forget about that. So, I can't give it a perfect because it's too long. I gotta pee sometimes, and I don't want to pause the movie. Second problem, unobtainium. I hate that word. So, everything else about this movie, it's amazing. I don't get it. The story is like, okay, if I'm being real here, like I'm not gonna pretend like there's not any problems with the story. The story is like it's a mediocre story, mediocre to like good story. The visuals still definitely hold up. There are times like, at least as I've grown as a man, I've started to learn more about like VFX and stuff, so I can start to kind of see a little bit of like weirdness. But this movie generally looks better than most movies that even come out today. It's still like amazing.
Yeah, it
But
still holds up really well.
yeah, it definitely still holds up. Still, I'm not gonna give it a 10. It's not as good as Lord of the Rings, but I am gonna give it a 9. So, yeah, I can't give it a 10 just because there are problems, and I gotta be fair here. I'm not gonna just be biased, but I do really enjoy this movie. I always have. I like to just like this is my like comfort movie when like I'm having a rough day. I'm like I'm gonna turn on Avatar 1.
I can't wait to watch those blue people have sex.
That's my favorite part. It's my favorite part, man. You got to go bond with Awa.
I did notice on the most recent watching that they do have jiggle physics on the ladies. So I was like, ooh, well, that's nice. I'm looking forward to that in Avatar
Okay,
2.
like they're. I mean, sure we can say there's jiggle physics, but like these people are like a stick. They're like very lanky stick people. None of them got big boobs.
But I mean, that's why I was surprised. They had small boobs, but they still had a little bounce. I was like, oh, that's kind of nice. That is kind of nice. So I
appreciate that.
I appreciate that. Mwah. But yes, unobtainium. So if you mine a lot of unobtainium, is it just tanium?
I don't really want to dig into that. We have titanium. I thought it was unobtainium.
No, we have it now, so it's just tanium.
Yeah, that name really is stupid. That name is really stupid.
It's just too on the nose for like what they're trying to do. Like it's just like, oh, we're digging up some. You can't have that.
Well, they can have it because they're powerful and they are going to Pandora. I want to, before we even dive, well, even though we've been talking about it, before we like get into specific story beats, I see arguments for like the men and women in this movie that are like trying to get the unobtainium and bring it back to Earth or whatever, and I also see it from the Na'vi's point of view, where they are, we don't want the people coming to take our stuff. That being said, do you think Jake Sully, who is our main character here, is in the right or is in the wrong? As I have grown, when I watched this back in 2009, I was like, oh, obviously the men are on the bad side. But Jake Sully, like, betrayed his own people. Like, I'm not sure I could go to an alien planet and within 3 months be like, I can't do this anymore. I gotta screw my friends, family, everybody that I work with. I'm gonna become a blue person. I'm attracted to this blue lady. Like, for me, I don't think I could just go into like an avatar body thing and be like, yeah, that thing is sexy. To me, I'm just like, it's like a blue stick thing. I don't want that. I want a human.
I don't know. I think aliens are hot. Although I've been conditioned by that by Star Trek and Star Wars. Ula was like a love of mine when I was a kid, dancing around that little net thing she wore, and Orion slave girls in Star Trek, blue and
yeah, but they don't even green. In Avatar, you don't even have like specs. You just like wiggle your hair together.
I think they had like regular sex too. I think the hair just helps you. I think the hair helps you connect on an emotional level.
Are you sure though? How confident are you in that?
So are they having sex with the flying thing and the horse?
I don't know.
And the floor? Like, are they just constantly boning everything? But the thing is that they're saying all these connections can only be for once.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, man?
So like, like they say you mate for life or whatever. So like the bond is, like, the bird, they're pterodactyls that they fly. Like you can only bond with one, or it's a specific.
Well, that's not
thing.
true.
And then only
it's
one.
Supposed to be
only
one.
one can bond with. Once it's bonded to you, it won't bond with anyone else.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. And it's interesting. Like, there's a lot of, for an almost 3-hour movie, they do almost no explanation for how any of the world works, and it's set up to be really interesting. Like, there's like this vague talking about how the whole world's like this like computer network.
Yep.
And like
Ewa.
AWA, the supercomputer. Like it'd be
Yeah.
that would be so classic Star Trek if it is like a computer buried somewhere that just like
Oh God!
reached
Please
out.
don't do that. Don't do that, man. Don't manifest that idea. Get that out of the universe. They just go and like dig up a computer.
It's like a computer.
Oh no, man! Don't do that.
It just builds the unobtainium, and it just built under there. It's like this network everywhere. It made these people like computers with their everything's that have like a USB connector to everything like
man.
that. That would be very like 60s Star Trek. But the thing is, like, Sigourney Weaver's character's talking about it, and Jake Sully walks away, so you can't hear the conversation about like how the world works, and that's really frustrating to me as a science fiction fan. I like the geeky, the geeky, nerdy stuff about why things are the way they are, and that's probably one of my biggest problems with Avatar is that it's just like a dumb action popcorn movie. When it's like a science fiction movie, it's got some really interesting. Like we don't even know what unobtainium does. It's just a rare metal. Like, is it?
Yeah,
just a
it was like
computer?
it's like 1 kilo sells for like 20 billion or million or something like that. And that's it. That's all we know.
But
That's
why?
all we know is
Like,
that it's expensive.
what is it for? Is it for computers? Is it for Joule? Like, is it just a Joule? Like,
It's got to be
what?
for computer. It's got to be for technology. It can't be for like a ring. It wouldn't sell for that much.
Yeah, but what is it? Like, why does it make computers better? Is it like the key to like the
Is it
next kind of
spaceships?
quantum computer?
Could it build the spaceships?
Is it
something?
Yeah, I just wish like other than it's just worth a lot of money. I mean, like I guess I think that's my big problem with that. It's just written for like the dumbest person, and I feel really bad for saying this now, but it just feels like it's just written for the most basic general
You
audience.
immediately regretted saying that as soon as you said it.
I just like my sci-fi to be a little bit smarter, and this is really on like the like anyone.
It's for all ages.
It's for all ages. It's an all ages science fiction movie, so like you can have low intellect to middling intellect, and you'll enjoy the movie just fine.
If you're low to medium intellect, you're gonna love this movie. Maybe that's why I like it so much.
No, I don't think. No.
I would like to know more about the unobtainium.
I want to know how the world works, and I don't think we're gonna get any more answers in the next movie.
You're gonna have to go to the Avatar wiki. There might be more information on there.
Yeah, fan wiki. I don't want to read the fan wiki. I want the movie to tell me stuff. I don't know. Like,
Hey, it might be out there. There's an Avatar game coming out. Maybe you'll learn more in that.
Oh yeah, I mean, if the world and the way the world works is fleshed out in the game, that could be nice. Like, what is unobtainium for?
Yeah, it could. There's a lot of stuff it could be for.
But they don't. They just say it's worth a lot. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, they do. So, towards the beginning of the movie, it's Jake Sully, who he takes the place of his brother that was going to be this Avatar man, and he has no legs.
I'm also glad they got the twin brother thing out of the way at the beginning of the movie instead of like revealing he had a twin brother at the end of the movie. Like just getting it out of the way.
It was very apparent that it was the twin thing right away.
Getting it out of the way at all. Yeah, getting it out of the way early is better. Like because like it's a very cliched thing to do. Oh, they just got a twin, and I guess doing it at the beginning of the movie like makes it feel like not as bad.
It's not a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a little drama there with Augustine, who is Sigourney Weaver's character, and all the other science people. They're like, you don't deserve to be here. And he's like, I'm here because I got nothing else to do. So he just shows up, and they like transfer him into his avatar, his Na'vi body. This is where I got a problem, David. This is where I got a problem here. So he gets transferred into... This is very early in the movie. It's like, what, first 10, 15 minutes, I think? And he transfers into his avatar body, and then after he transfers into it, he just kind of like gets up and like runs outside. Why is there so many Na'vi in like that training area? Where are they for the rest of the movie? That's my problem right there. He just like they have like this farmland. They have like a basketball court. There's people playing basketball. These people never are seen again. We never see these Na'vi again.
There's like 10-ish Na'vi people, and the rest of the movie it's just Jake, Augustine, and like the geek guy that's in everything.
Yeah. What happened to him? What happened to him? They never seen again. It's a problem I've always had.
Well,
Bet you never thought of that one.
I didn't think of it, but also I mean like I actually thought of it a little bit on the more recent watch throughs. I'm like, oh, we never see these Avatar people again. And like in the room with the things, there's like at least 7 to 10.
Yeah,
deaths.
there's like multiple of those like machines that transfer you over.
Yeah,
But we never see anything more about that. Where did those people go? Did they take the men's side and decide to be like, yeah, we need to like get this unobtainium, or were they like what happened? Were they killed? We don't know. What happened to their avatars? Where'd they go?
Yeah, it's a good question. Like, a lot of these things are good questions. Like the movie isn't like the movie isn't particularly smart. It's competent.
Yes.
And that's two different things. It's a competently well made film. It's just not a smart film, and that's what I'm hearing about the second one. Like the weird dumb plot things and some of the dialogue things I hear is just as bad, if not worse, than the second one.
So another thing is right before or right after this. Man, I can't go scene by scene here. It's a 3-hour movie, but the high military guy, I always called him Colonel Quidditch because his last name is like it's something close to Quidditch, but he is doing a presentation on like what's it like to be like Pandora, and he like explains how he got this scar. He's like, first day on Pandora, boom, I get this, and he says something that I feel like they just used it as like a buzzword at the time because I don't know, like 10 years ago, this was kind of a new thing still maybe, but he says their bones are made of naturally occurring carbon fiber. And that has bothered me ever since I've heard it because carbon fiber is not naturally occurring. It's a man-made, like, created thing. Oh, God. That always bothered me, too. So that's another gripe I have.
It's a sci-fi world. Why can't they make it? It's natural.
How can it be naturally? It's not natural at all. It's made of, like, resin. It's like resin's not natural.
It's on Pandora. They also don't breathe oxygen on Pandora.
It doesn't bother me as much, but like it's something that I think about.
But also like it's also super like that was also a sci-fi buzzword because I think Crisis was out around this point, and he had that kind of weave armor.
Yeah, yeah. So there's that when he's explaining who the Na'vi are, and he's like naturally occurring carbon fiber.
Carbon fiber. That's a big thing in the early aughts.
Yeah, so I feel like that's where they got that from. Yeah, so that's another gripe I have. What did you think of the military guy? I think he's like one of the most interesting characters, even though he definitely is a bad guy, and I don't particularly like him. I mean, I understand he's there to like, you know, get the unobtainium and everything, but like he's definitely a villain of getting the unobtainium.
Well, that's the thing. It's just like
I think he like acted the best in the whole movie.
Oh, he's a really good actor. Like,
yeah,
Mr. Lang. I can't remember.
Stephen Lang. Yeah,
he's
that's his actor name.
Really good actor. So I mean, like, I liked his performance in the movie. But the thing is, it's like good guys or bad guys. Because I mean, like, he was true to his human race. He was there to do his job, and he did his job effectively and well as he could. Is he a bad guy? Yeah, I mean, the movie frames him as a bad guy for sure. And like you were saying, like you wouldn't abandon your human race after just a couple months. But I mean, like that's the whole thing about space travel and aliens and stuff like that. It's like, do you view the creatures as equals or whatever? That's the argument. Like that's why Stephen Hawking was afraid of alien races, because like any significant technological advanced species that comes, if they come here, like they could just enslave us or just wipe us out, like or not even think we're alive. Like, you know, it's just they just think we're animals or bugs, like, you know, like horses or zebra, like they just like have no regard for that. And that's just kind of how it just translates. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty realistic way they portrayed Mr. Colonel, man. Just like he doesn't view them as people or.
So for you, I guess that's fair. You can just see him as not people, but clearly they demonstrate a little bit more than like a zebra. They do have like houses, they need food, they can communicate. It's not like
Well,
they're
no,
like zebras just randomly running around.
I don't think he's necessarily a good guy. I'm just saying, like,
Oh, okay.
from the human point of view, like, he could
You
be,
understand it.
I understand he's not, but I mean, of course, they're like they're the people being attacked, so they're like the sympathetic ones. They also have like the big Disney eyes and the cat-like features, and everyone feels sorry and stuff for the cat. So I mean, I get it. I mean,
Would you?
it's fine.
Would you abandon the human race after 2 months? Not even 2 months. With a month, he was with these. Because you can see when they're doing the video logs and the time is passing in the bottom. It shows you the date and time. After about a month, he was like, I screw the humans. Screw the humans. I'm with the Na'vi. I feel like after a month, that's extreme. Where you just got abandoned your entire human race. I don't know. To me, I think that's kind of crazy.
I don't know.
Personally.
I mean, I have a lot of problems personally about the way things are in real life. So I mean, like, also,
You're just gonna get rid of the human race. What about like your friends and stuff? I don't want to just go killing my
not
friends.
the human. I know it's not the human race. It's our it's. And I don't think Jake Sully has anything against the human race. He just doesn't like what the military and the people who are coming to exploit Pandora stand for.
I guess that's fair. That's fair. That's a good point.
He's upset about the establishment. He's not upset about humans. He's upset about and that's a lot of people. Like, I am not happy with how things go, and lots of ways here in the world and United States in particular. I'm not a fan of a lot of things like the establishment. I can see like wanting to go against the establishment. I get that. Also, like video games. I don't know if I would choose to live with a bunch of blue Indians. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a hard takeaway to like. I would want to like, going to live with the blue people is fine, but the problem is they don't have a TV.
They don't have good computers. Can't play video games. Can I even get Satisfactory on Pandora?
Can I get the game Satisfactory? I don't know.
Can I play it on a tree?
Maybe that's where it takes place.
Does it work on a tree? I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Massage to ADD.
I don't know. Maybe Awa is a very powerful. Since she is a super powerful computer.
Oh man, I hope Lizard Doggo will show up in the next Avatar movie. That'd be great.
Who knows?
Who
knows, man?
A little Satisfactory.
We don't know
shout-out.
what this movie's gonna bring.
We don't. Hopefully, Lizard Doggo. I like Lizard Doggo. I don't know. It's an interesting thing. I can see being fed up with the establishment.
I can too.
I don't see Jake Sully getting that way that fast though, because he's introduced and he's self-described as an idiot jarhead. I'm not the scientist, my brother was a scientist. Like he's not the intellectual thinker.
No.
So like I don't see him questioning the status quo the way he is depicted and self-described in the movie. He's not.
We're like philosophy, breaking down Jake Sully's philosophy.
Well, I mean, like, he's not established to be a thinker. Like, he's not established to, like, he's a Marine. Oorah, follow orders. Like,
yeah. But he didn't follow orders anymore.
That's the thing. Like, I don't buy Jake Sully switching. I wish the timeline was longer. You know what I mean? I mean, granted, he is like learning about all the alien stuff, and he picks it up really fast somehow. Like it feels like the timeline should have been longer. So he's like learns the Na'vi language more or less,
like less than 3 months.
And then like learns their ways, graduates, and becomes a man inside the Na'vi thing. Even though Neytiri describes him as an infant whenever they meet. Like he does all of this stuff in 3 months. I feel like the time frame should have been a lot longer for this to play out.
Yeah.
For him, like, cause I don't know, like what they said he is and what he is not the same thing. Like, he is more of a free thinker than he says he is. he's also super intelligent like his brother, which they say he's not. Like, are getting a lot of mixed messages from the movie. You know what I mean? So I just so I could see like a smart person, like the scientist people, they would probably just want to be there to study the Navi, and like, they don't want the stuff like that. And Jake Sully, I guess, is maybe he had other conversations with, Sigourney Weaver's character and the other scientist people, off screen, that made him change his mind. We don't get any of that though in the movie, so we don't really, we don't know. So it's, I don't know, it's really hard to know, because I mean, like, the scientists are like, they're smart, and they were like, oh yeah, screw the military people, but they're only there to try to facilitate stuff for the military people. So I don't know. It's
philosophy broken down.
It's convoluted. I mean, I like, I like my science fiction to be deep, and Avatar takes every chance it can to like skip right past it, when there's so many things set up in the world that like make me want to dig into the deeper parts of it. Like, a world that's super connected between all the animals and life and everything is super interesting. The fact that everything can interface with each other like a USB cable or whatever, like, that's interesting.
It is interesting.
There's a lot of really cool concepts in this film, and I think it could have been more influential had like there been more stuff in the movie. There'd been like a sequel that come out sooner. Like, he's announced.
And don't forget that like this is almost a 3-hour movie, just the first one. It feels like, not a lot was explained. Things were happening, but not a lot was explained.
Like, we learn nothing. Like that's why no one knows anything about this movie, because it's just so superficial, and that's really sad that this movie's so superficial. Like, even Terminator has got a little bit of like technobabble in it.
It does have technobabble.
Well,
this one has unobtainium, so they're equal.
They just skip right past it all. Oh man.
And Mother Tree. They have Mother Tree, which is a big tree, and unobtainium, which is unobtainable until it's obtained.
Until it's very obtainable, and then it's just tanium.
Yeah. Now, this movie at the end, Augustine dies with no, like, her last words are, "I'm with her," and then she dies, but she's in this movie, so she must be coming back. Same thing with the military guy.
Stephen Lang, so apparently her spirit, when you die on Pandora absorbs your spirit, and it just spins it back out again.
But she could be, like, one of those, like, elephant things.
Well, she is like she's apparently a teenager that was like, she was born to some other Na'vi, and her soul was put into this teenager. So she's playing, and then I guess Jake adopts her.
Oh, is this is new Avatar stuff?
Yeah, Avatar 2. Like,
okay.
From what I understand.
How do you know that?
From what I understand, I've been looking into the new movie, man.
Oh. Okay.
And so
I'm going blind. I don't know what's going on.
And also Stephen Lang, his character, his body is also somehow, his soul is also like
somebody. So is he going to be the thing he swore to kill? Is he also going to be a Na'vi?
He's going to be a Na'vi, but they're I guess the humans have figured out. I don't know how, because I can't see the scientists. Because the scientists were obviously on the side of the Na'vi in the first movie. I can't see the scientists being like, oh yeah, we can put our dead soldiers into bodies of Na'vi to fight the Na'vi. That seems really bad.
Well, they'll just kill all their soldiers. When their soldiers die, they find out that they're not actually dead.
But apparently the guy that gets
my gosh, it's going to become a zombie movie.
Well, no, but their minds are intact. Like, so Stephen Lang's character, like the bald jarhead guy who was in the mech and gets trampled at the movie, apparently he's coming back too. The only person who died in the first movie who's not coming back is apparently Michelle Rodriguez. Like, why doesn't her body get to be reincarnated into Awa?
Well, we didn't get to see if she actually died or not. Also, Michelle Rodriguez seems like she might have a lot of baggage as an actor behind her.
Well, she blew up in a helicopter, so she's dead.
Yeah, but
Maybe.
they never showed. They never showed that she died.
Yeah, but she's dead. Like she's not. She's not in the movie.
Maybe she didn't want to do it. I don't know. It's just she does have. She is kind of like a problem. Like she causes problems. So that could be a reason why. Is Sute coming back? Do you know? Do we know if Sute is the one? He was like the clan leader or like the sub clan leader. He didn't like Jake, the guy that didn't like Jake Sully very much.
He died.
Yeah.
I mean, his soul might be spun back out, but it's not going to be. He's going to be a kid, like Sigourney Weaver.
Okay, so we don't know if he's actually in the movie
He'd be
or
the
not.
same age as Sigourney Weaver's character. The actor who played him might be in it because I don't think James Cameron's getting rid of any other actors except for Michelle Rodriguez. As far as I know, she's
Also,
like.
can we just give a little bit of props here to Zoe Saldana? She plays Nitiri or whatever her name
Neytiri?
is. I'm awful with these names. Nitiri, yeah. She is like the most successful actor of all time, I think. I think she's the most successful of all time.
Really?
She was in Avatar and she's Gamora.
And in Star Trek.
Yeah, she's like the most, like she's in like probably what, 5 or 6 of the most top grossing movies of all time. I feel like that's a pretty good record.
I mean, she's good. I don't know.
I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up. I don't know. Maybe her agent picks out good movies for her to be in that make money. I don't know. But it seems like everything she's in makes a good amount of money.
Oh, speaking of Zoe Saldana and being in franchise films, I saw an article a week or two ago where she said she's tired of doing genre movies because she feels like she can't grow as an actor. And I'm like, poor you. You're in some of the most.
Poor you. She's probably like a billion. She's probably a billionaire.
You're in some of the most popular big movies possible
Ever created.
and you're complaining about your acting not being challenged. Okay, first of all, you didn't have to sign on to any of those movies. Or once you sign on to one franchise, you didn't have to sign on to 2 other ones. Like I mean, if you wanted to stretch, just sign on to one franchise.
Is so good.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I've wanted to be an actor for such, like, when I was a kid. That's what I wanted to be. I wanted to go into acting. Never panned out though. But I wanted to.
Wait, what? Aren't you? You're not in Avatar 2? I thought you were in Avatar 2. This is when you're gonna break it. The breaking news.
The breaking news. Yeah. No, I'm not in Avatar 2, unfortunately. I didn't. James Cameron didn't almost drown me like he did everyone else.
Not the way of water.
Yeah. Being an actor is something I've always wanted to do. So, like, getting to do stuff like this would just be like, you get to play make believe as a living. That has got to be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine.
Unless you're the woman who actually got waterboarded on Game of Thrones, then that's maybe not your dream.
Well, how far of a method actor are you gonna go? You're gonna get waterboarded?
No, I'm not gonna.
We'll give you 200 grand.
I don't think the lady got 200 grand though.
No, she might not. She probably didn't get 200
She
grand.
probably got very little to get waterboarded. So that was a really shitty thing they did in Game of Thrones. So
That's Game of Thrones, though.
yeah.
So it's Avatar, man. I mean, please, we know this upcoming movie needs to make like $2 billion to like break even. So there's no way he's doing this for money.
This movie needs to make so much money to break even. This movie
It needs to be the I think James Cameron said it needs to be the 3rd most grossing movie of all time to break even. That's nuts. Does he still have the top spot? Did Avatar remain at number 1? I know it got taken down, like Endgame or something beat it, and then James Cameron was like, I'm just gonna re-release Avatar into theaters again, and then I think it took it back, but then again, Endgame seemed like it was in theaters for like 2 years, so I don't know.
According to Box Office Mojo, Avatar 1 lifetime gross is 2.9 billion. Avengers Endgame is 2.7 billion, and Titanic is 2.2 billion. So he's got to
beat 2 of his own movies.
He's got to beat Titanic to break even, which is insane. Like, how do you make a movie where you have to, like, to even break even? And that's not even to make a profit. Like, I don't even understand. how
Well,
you.
it's not for money. He's obvious. You cannot be doing this for money. He's doing it because he wants to. There's no way. This is not a good way to make money. This is like super high risk and no reward.
It's scary as
Yeah, I would imagine he is scared.
as and it's coming out, and it couldn't come out at a worse time either. I mean, because I mean,
Well, I mean, it could come out at a worse time. It could have been, April of 2020.
although I think a lot of people didn't care about. I think it was a little bit after that where people really started getting freaked out. But
Oh,
um, at least here in America,
well, either way.
at least here in America. But I mean, things aren't like great, even though like the pandemic is
Yeah, movie theaters have not really made a
over.
recovery. Yeah,
They haven't
they haven't made a recovery.
super bounced back. Inflation's miserable at the moment. There's war in Europe, which isn't helping. The economy, the world economy, or
Well, we just need to
that stuff.
save your pennies and go see Avatar because we're gonna need Avatar number 3, please. Please and thank you. I will single-handedly do my best. I'll go see this movie 25 million times if I have to.
Many times as it takes.
However many times it takes, I will go see this movie. Give the power to me. I will go watch it. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think this is just something that's good, and we need more good in the world. And Avatar brings good. More world, more good, more good. So, yeah, I mean, we're kind of just like, we got
you
really
need
into like the philosophy of Avatar. rather than like
or the lack
specific
thereof,
scenes.
or the lack thereof
Yeah,
of philosophy.
or the lack thereof.
I don't know.
Which is fine, I guess.
It's a decent movie. It's good. It's watchable. It's beautiful. As far as the special effects go, the only thing that doesn't super hold up is like some of the talking of the Na'vi.
Yeah.
And it's usually just on like the sub characters. Zoe Saldana's character is the best animated character in the film, by far. She looks better than Jake Sully when she talks. Like her movement looks more believable. From the mouth perspective, I mean, because that's the one thing. Like when you see old CG stuff, like when people are talking, that's what really breaks immersion now. Because CG has come such a long way, and talking is so much more realistic looking now. Like Thanos is an amazing CG character. Like he's completely believable when he makes facial expressions and talks. And the Na'vi, some of them are there, but some of them not as
so
much.
much.
And that's the one place Avatar falls short. Everything else is, I mean, everything else holds up. So it's also like it's been 13 years or something like that since the first movie, and it's just like I don't see the special effects being that much better in Avatar 2 other than the mouth syncing up better.
We don't know that water physics are hard to do, and he had developed new systems to do water physics.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, I think people are gonna take it for granted.
I know, right?
Like that's the thing. Like it's like stupid. Like so water is super stupid hard to render.
Water and smoke are extremely hard to do.
Well, that's why I always watch the water. I was watching the water on the most recent rewatch of Avatar 1, and there's a lot of waterfalls, which is just dispersed water, which is really easy. It's just a lot easier to do because it's like a gas. They just make it like a gas cloud, so it's like
Yeah.
it just looks diffuse. So that's like easier to do than like actual like water and surface tension and all the like the lens distortion you get with the water. So it's the thing, all the technical stuff that they had to do to work out for Avatar 2 for the water to look real, people are gonna just assume it was just like real water and they just CG'd over everything else and over top of it, and like not that the water's actually CG too. I think that's gonna be where. And the thing is, they did film in tanks, but it's all like mocap filming, so
Have to see how it goes. We don't know yet. But I mean, I think more of this little episode here that we're doing wasn't so much on, at least for me, it wasn't so much as reviewing Avatar. It's kind of just like kind of a look back. I think most people who would listen to this or watch this, they know what Avatar is. You've seen Avatar. We're not trying to convince anybody of it. I think we just wanted to talk about Avatar because I like it, you like it mostly, Avatar 2's coming out.
And we've never actually spoken about Avatar. Like you've said you've liked it, and I said it was okay. And, and
that's as far as our conversations have gone.
Yeah, we've never really gone deep into Avatar, but mostly because I hadn't seen it in years when we did talk about it.
Yes.
And I've seen it twice inside of 6 months, so.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've brought it up to you over the years, but it's been more than one.
It's been, I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's just, I think it's Pocahontas in space.
That was always your response. And that's where the conversation would end. It's Pocahontas. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's Pocahontas in space.
Anyway.
I will die on that hill.
You'll die on that hill. That's the hill that will kill you.
It's truth. It's truth. Like,
yeah, I agree. I'm not. Hey, I'm on board with that statement, man. I'm not fighting you on it.
Pocahontas.
So yeah, please. It's not. I'm not here to convince you to go see Avatar. I'm here to convince you to go see Avatar 2. Please
go see Avatar 2, because Brian really needs his Avatar. He needs 18 hours of Avatar a day, preferably 24 hours of Avatar, so he can just sit and put his comfort Avatar on for 24 straight hours of Avatar after all 5 or 4 films are released, depending on how many it is. Because James Cameron, I don't know if we said it, but he said he might have to prune the films down because Avatar 2 costs so much to make.
Yeah. Well, we might. Was it unsure if we're getting 3 or 4, or was it like we're getting 3 and 4 and we don't know about? No, we're getting 2 and 3 and we don't know about 4, or was it we're getting 2 and we don't know about 3?
I don't remember the specifics, except for I saw another article the other day that says in Avatar 4, Neytiri is going to go to Earth and see not all humans are bad.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see how that... Because they did film, didn't they? They filmed like 3 and 4 already. It's all filmed.
They filmed 2 and 3 back to back. 4 is currently being filmed.
Okay. So we definitely could get more Avatar. Yes, let's go, dude. Let's go. But yeah, so to go see Avatar 2, I guess. I don't know. Man. See Avatar 2.
Yeah.
Anything else to add here, David? Or you got your Avatar out?
We got our Avatar out. Watch that. Well, next. Actually, we won't be talking about Avatar 2 until early January. Brian will have seen it multiple times.
Break.
We're taking a break for Christmas and holidays. My birthday.
Well, it's really only because when we podcast is like on Christmas Day or something, and I don't think either one of us are really around to family and parties and all that.
Yeah, so the next time we would record would be like on Christmas Eve, and that's just not going to work out for us. So the next regular...
But don't worry, we have it planned. Oh, also, something we probably should have brought up at the top of the show. We got a comment to watch a show with young Renaris. I don't know if this person is listening. We definitely will incorporate that show into one of our podcasts, whether it's we watch it and dedicate a whole podcast to it, or we talk about it half and half or something. But it's something that we got on our radar. So thank you for leaving their comment if you made it this far in the podcast. But it's something we got on our radar and it has been written down. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's really good. So if you got other suggestions you'd like to hear us talk about, feel free to make suggestions.
Or just give us like cursed stuff to watch. I'm always down to watch something that's like cursed and awful.
Brian loves cursed stuff. That's why he likes that. That's why he makes himself watch Avatar twice a year, even though it's too long.
But yeah, I mean, to be fair, we watch. It always comes back to one of these two things. But like Captain Invincible, it's like a cursed show or cursed movie. It was it was fun. It was a fun watch. So at least for me, it was fun. I don't know. Maybe David was banging his head against the wall, but I had a fun time watching it. And anything more cursed, we have. I'm not going to spoil anything, but we do have another cursed movie coming out that we're going to be watching. I think it's in February that we're going to be podcasting on. Don't want to spoil it, but it's cursed.
Cocaine Bear?
Oh, you spoiled it, man. Yeah, we're gonna dive into other cursed stuff. But yeah, if you whether you want us to watch it because you think it's good, or want us to watch it because you think it's bad, or you just want us to suffer, which there's a good chance we'll watch it. But yeah. So appreciate the comment. Thank you.
I really hope Cocaine Bear isn't cursed. I hope it's either like really funny, over top funny and dumb, or like so bad that it's good. because I don't have any hope that's gonna be actually good. I just hope it's gonna be
I
at
have
least funny or so bad that it's good.
I feel like it's just going to be bad. I think it's just going to be bad. It's not even going to be funny bad. It's just going to be bad. So, but I think at this point, we've made enough memes amongst ourselves, just us two, where to the point where it's like, this is something we have to do, not for anybody, but for ourselves.
Cocaine Bear. I don't know.
Yeah, Cocaine Bear.
I saw the name and I'm like, oh, that's too funny.
Gotta watch.
I gotta watch this.
Yeah, so go watch Avatar 2 when it comes out, December 16th, 2022. That's the year we're in. Mm-hmm. David, got anything else to add?
No, I'm good. I'm looking forward to Avatar 2. I'm hoping it'll be pretty good. I'm just scared it's gonna be like Avatar 1 over again.
I'm totally okay with that. If it's Avatar 1, it's gonna make a lot of money.
Is it though?
I mean, if you just want more of Avatar, if you said it's just going to be like Avatar 1, just being like Avatar 1 means it's going to be the top grossing movie of all time, which I'm okay with. That's where my head went.
We will have to see.
Yeah.
And Star Wars isn't even in the top 3 anymore. George Lucas is rolling in his office chair.
Yeah. Also, just want to, bring to the forefront here is we know Andor came out. And there might be one person out there who's wondering why we haven't talked about Andor. Neither one of us want to watch it.
It's weird. I've been told it's one of the best Star Wars shows out there. And I've watched some people talk about it that have also said it's probably one of the best Star Wars out there, but no one's watching it. And I don't want to watch it because I hated Rogue One with a passion. Like, there's no worse Star Wars movie to me than Rogue One and The Last Jedi. Those are my bottom 2 Star Wars films of all time. And more people from Rogue One, I just don't want to watch.
Can't do it, man.
I don't want to watch them.
So, that's probably why.
And I've heard great things about the show. I've heard it's like grounded. I've heard it's interesting. It's got a decent plot. And it's just like, all this stuff is like stuff I normally really want to see, but I cannot care about Cassian Andor. Like, I didn't care about him in Rogue One. I didn't care watching him get blasted by the Death Star. Didn't care about any of the other characters. I wanted to care about Jyn Erso, but they did a giant bait and switch with Jyn Erso, where she wasn't, like, in the trailer they made her out to be like she was this crazy rebel badass, and then in the movie she's got like zero agency and she kind of just is carried along the plot and she doesn't lead anything. It was really disappointing.
Well, so that's why we probably won't ever watch it. We're also trying to, I think, more Marvel and Star Wars stuff is such a saturated market, and it's like anything we would say has already been said by 100 other people for the most part. So yeah, there's also that. But email David at synthaholics@yahoo.com.
Yeah, but we'll be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy 3 because James Gunn.
Yeah, James Gunn. We appreciate James Gunn. Thank you, James Gunn.
Thank you for your service, James Gunn.
You've done well, man.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening. I hope you liked the philosophy of Avatar. I didn't even realize to be getting to the philosophy of Avatar this week, but there we go.
So it turned into.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time in 2023 for Avatar 2, The Way of Water. Until then.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And Happy New Year. And Happy Christmas. And Happy Holidays. And all your Hanukkahs. And all the other things for the end of the year.
Whatever else is celebrated. We include everybody.
All inclusive. Welcome. Enjoy your holidays. Synthaholics out.